Welcome back. This is Dr. Hadley. This is my series of Excel tutorials for Microsoft 365, the online version. We are looking at text functions. So last lesson, we looked at some basic ones and ones that by themselves don't look very useful, but combined are really helpful. We're going to pick up where we left off last time. We were talking about find. Okay. So find looked for a specific piece of text within a string. Okay, so for this lesson, we're going to use the same string. Quote, well, we don't need to do quote because it'll show up correctly. My name is Earl, period. Okay. So we're going to use that for our examples in this lesson. Okay. But if I wanted to find something, so equals find, if I look for Earl, and I do this guy, okay, it's going to tell me it's position 12. However, it is case sensitive. So if I do find this guy, comma, and I just do lowercase Earl, it comes back with an error because it's not finding that specific Earl. Okay. So in those cases, we have to use search, equals search. So it's very similar. So we're finding, a piece of text. Okay. So let's just say Earl. And within a specific thing of text, so we're trying to find it within this string. Okay. And we can say where it starts, but we'll just use the default for now. And we get 12. So you can see it is a lot more open-ended, but I can do more than just look for things of lowercase versus uppercase. I can actually look for something that is a bit more open-ended. So maybe I know the name starts with an E and ends with an L, but I don't know exactly how long the word Earl is, or maybe it's just spelled weird or something. Okay, so equals search. So instead I can have what are kind of these open-ended characters. So if I have E star L, this is going to look for a string of letters that start with E and end with L. Now in this case, it's going to find the first one, which is from from name. So it's not going to be 12 in this case, it's going to be 7, because the E in name is first. Okay. If, however, let's say we know it starts with E and has 2 characters in between and ends with L, and in that case, we can use question marks. So E question mark L, and this will give us 12. So the difference is this is open-ended. Who knows how many letters are within that asterisk? Whereas this specifically says, okay, there's 2 letters between the E and the L. I just don't know what they are. Okay. So again, that open-endedness makes this a lot more forgiving and open-ended, but it can also get you kind of into trouble because you can see this 7 didn't quite work the way we wanted. So moving on to the next one is replace and substitute. And substitute. And just like find and search, they're similar, but they are different. Okay? So replace is looking for position and length. Okay? I'm replacing it with text, knowing the exact place where something occurs, and I know how long. So let's say I want to replace Earl with Robert. Okay, so equals replace the old text. So we've got our full string here, comma, these start numbers. So where does Earl start? Well, look like it started in 12. So we'll just grab that right there, comma. How many characters? I know it's going to be 4 because Earl's 4. And then I'm going to replace it with Robert. Now, it doesn't matter that they're not the same exact size. It will put it in, it will take out E-A-R-L, those 4 letters, and replace it with Robert. Okay, so they don't have to be the same size. Let's move this so you can actually see it. So my name is Robert. Now substitute. Now the problem with that one is you have to know exactly how many letters it is and where it starts. Substitute is a little bit different. It's a bit more open-ended. So replace, you have to know the position and length. Substitute, you don't have to know all that information. So equals substitute. Now it says text, old text, new text. This is not the same, I guess, language as replace. So text is the full string. Okay, so whereas the old text was the full string before. Okay, and the old text in this case is the word Earl, and the new text is still Robert. And just like before, it doesn't matter that they're the same, they're different lengths. It will replace it just as well. Okay, so this could be something nice for, like an open-ended letter where, you're changing the name and the address and everything, and that's reading in from a spreadsheet. The last 3 that we're going to do are kind of piecing together strings of text. Okay, the first one is called CONCAT. Okay, so let's just, for example, say I had a couple of names, Robert, Frost, James, Jones, Earl, Hickey, and I wanted to rearrange those as, so right now it's first, last name. I want to rearrange those as last, comma, first. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out where the heck the space is. Okay, so we're going to use find. So find this guy, comma, quote, space. Oh, I did that wrong. I want to find quote, space, quote in this. Okay. And again, I don't need the, okay, so it's the 7th character. Okay. And so that means I'm going to kind of extract pieces. Got first, got our last, equals left of this guy, how many characters? The space minus 1. Okay. And this is going to equal right, this guy, comma. Oh, now we need to know the length. So length, this guy, minus the space. And we got Robert Frost. So the function that we're going to use to bring these together is called concat or concatenate. Concat. Okay. Equals concat. You can see concatenate is also there. This is a legacy function, so they realized we don't need to have it called concatenate. We can just shorten it as concat and have it do exactly the same thing. Now, what does concatenate mean? It means piece together strings of text. So take like these separate strings of text and add them together. Okay, so parentheses. Okay, and you can see it says text1, comma, dot, 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 meaning, okay, what's the first piece of text? The last name. Okay, what's the next piece of text? A comma, space, okay, quote. What's the next piece of text? The first name. And you can see it is going to have it just the way we want it, and then if we autofill, it works for all of them in the same exact way. Similar to that, but a little bit different, is called TEXTJOIN. So let's say we had an address where, you know, we had a street and then a city and then a state with its zip. Okay. So, you know, 515 9th Street North, and that is in Malta and Arizona, 83009. Sure. Okay. And we want to put those together. Okay. And in between each, we want a comma. So that's where text join. Now, I could still use concatenate, but I'd have to put in that comma, you know, the quote, comma, space, quote, for each one. Whereas text join looks at all the pieces and automatically puts a specific thing between them. So equals text join. So delimiter, that's what I'm going to put in between each piece of text. So in this case, quote, comma, space, quote. That way I don't have to put it in between all. Next is asking, should I ignore empty cells? Yes. But maybe if it's blank, you want it to still be in the string. Okay. And then all the pieces of text. So we can feed it in the full array. And now we have street address, comma, the city, comma, the state with the zip code. The last thing that we're going to look at is repeat. So REPT for repeat. And as you can probably guess, it takes a piece of text and repeats it. So for example, repeat. Maybe I want a hyphen. And then I want that repeated 12 times. And I get kind of like a, you know, like an empty entry type of thing. Okay. Or I can have something like REPT, you know, quote, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, and then repeat that, you know, 5 times. And then I get something like that. So it probably has limited utility, but I think it has some utility, especially for something like this case. Well, that is all I have for this lesson. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Keep watching, keep subscribing, and I will see you in the next time. Have a good day.